Taxes in America are like going to a restaurant and at the end of the meal, they're like, so, how much do you think you owe us? And you're like, oh, I don't know. I actually wasn't keeping track of that. And they're like, oh, it's crazy. And you're like, don't you know how much I owe you? And they're like, we do. We know exactly how much you owe us. We have been keeping track. And you're like, okay, well, can you just tell me? And they're like, no. So you're like, okay, I guess I can try to figure this out. This looks kind of complicated. And they're like, well, if you want to pay someone a bunch of money, they can do it for you. And like, usually they do it correctly. And you're like, well, I don't know if I want to pay someone a bunch of money. Why don't you just tell me how much I owe you? And they're like, And you're like, well, what if I get it wrong? And they're like, well, then we're going to accept how much you give us, but like maybe months or maybe even years later, we're going to send you a very threatening letter that says that you messed up and you paid us the wrong amount and now you're in a lot of trouble. So just guess. Just guess. Okay? This is fun. Okay? Just guess. Or pay someone a bunch of money and they'll tell you how much you owe. But we're not going to tell you. Even though in other restaurants, other countries, they just tell you what the bill is. Because they've been keeping track. Anyways, I really love it here. I think this is the most wonderful country that I was born into. And I think that everything we do is the exact right way to do it. So no complaints here.
Hello everyone. This is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below. And let's get into the video.
Tax season is upon us. I was just reading the comments somewhere. They're like, oh yeah, my tax return was $9,000. I told my boss, watch your mouth. Somebody in the comments said, yeah, mine was $13,000. Another person said, yeah, I be feeling like Elon Musk during tax season. What the hell are y'all doing for work? My tax return last year was $100. I'm not joking. I shit you not, every year when me and my tax lady do my taxes, she chuckles when she tells me the return. Like, she literally starts giggling. Like, my life is a joke. I think something is actually wrong. I don't know if either I've just been getting gypped or, like, somebody is scamming me, but, like, thousands of dollars? Y'all are getting thousands of dollars back? I'm full-time, too, by the way.
Is it just me or is it y'all, too? I'm not in a rush to file my taxes. I ain't getting shit back. I'm more than likely gonna have to owe. I ain't in a rush to file them bitches. I get a check every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. So, I mean, I don't have kids. I'm not in a rush to file my taxes. I'll wait till the last day. Whatever that is.
Is it just me, or are we all scared to do our taxes this year? Because last year, 22-year-old me, well, I was 21 at the time, I owed over $3,000 in taxes. I'm a server at a restaurant and I work at a boutique. There's no way that I owe that much. I pay in taxes. Taxes comes out of my checks, whatever. I just don't understand it, and I never will, and it never will click in my head why we have to pay taxes on everything that we buy and everything that we own, and it comes out of our checks, and then we still got to pay. This is a topic that I could literally talk about all day long. I've already made another TikTok, and I didn't post it because it was like 5 minutes long. I just truly feel bad for the people that also have kids and are having to pay a lot in. People used to look forward to this time of the year because they got money back from paying in all year. But now we're paying in all year and we're having to pay more. But hopefully you won't have to pay a lot in this year. I am just praying to God that I just break even. Like, I don't want to pay in and I don't want no money back. Just don't make me pay in. But I will update y'all whenever my taxes come back and like the paperwork and stuff, and I'll let you know.
Is it just me? Or does everybody I know not getting a tax refund this year? And if it's a tax refund, it's like $40, if that. Or you end up owing. Like, for the first time in my life, I've had to owe the IRS money this year. And I'm like, have you not taken enough from me already? Like, do you see how much I give you from my paychecks? That is why it's called a gross income. Because it's gross to see how much I could have gotten until y'all stole my money. And now I gotta give you more? Anyways, is it just me? Let me know, because I'm over this adulting thing. I really am. I really am.
You mean to tell me that you take 10% out of every single paycheck, and when tax time rolls around, I owe you money? How does that make sense? Two and two aren't adding up here, honey.
I'm actually gonna lose it. I'm gonna crash out. I started to file my taxes, right? And then it started adding up. Okay, I already supposedly owe $95 in federal taxes. I'm not even finished. How? I am a CNA. My checks are this big. You tax the hell out of those. You tax my food, my house, my clothes. Every time I go to the store, I pay taxes. Hell, I gotta pay to file my taxes. And then you want more money? I'm sorry, baby. I don't got it. You took it all. How do you... I'm gonna stand on the corner. Spare change? I thought this was home of the free. No, it's home of the fucking taxes. I understand Robin Hood. I understand. They told us all as kids in Robin Hood, it's land of the frickin' taxes.
So it's tax season, and I just told my roommate, I was like, I've never done taxes before, and I'm 24, and I know I need to do it, but like, it's always been this like running joke where I'm like, ha ha ha, they'll never get me, and she's like, I don't think they want to get you. I think they owe you money. That's why they haven't said anything, and I'm like, what?
Bro, they owe you a student loan payment.
Like, they definitely do owe me money. That's why. And this whole time, I'm like, ha ha ha, they'll never get me. They don't want to find me. Oh my God. I'm doing my taxes this year, guys. I'm getting that paycheck.
All right, y'all. We all know we get these taxes soon, so I am curious. What are we doing with our taxes this year? Because I know I'm not the only one come like January, like, oh, babe, we're going to do this. We're going to pay off this. We're going to plan this trip. What is y'all's plans with your taxes? But this year, I'm kind of like, because we usually get, so I'm married and we have 2 kids, so we usually get like between 10 and 11,000 back. But this year, my husband's not in the military no more, so, his military don't make that much. So he obviously made double this year, and now we're only getting like 8, maybe a little over 8, which I'm thankful for. That's still good. Some people don't get nothing back. Some people have to pay. But like I said, we do this same thing every year. Like, what are we going to do? Obviously, I have a little bit of credit card debt. He does too. We're going to put a little bit up for savings, and then we're going to take the kids somewhere on spring break. And then me and the hubby's going to plan a trip. So, yeah. What are y'all doing with yours?
Living in America and tax system. I just had the biggest realization on how this works after watching a video how Chinese people said America is a big corporation. And I was like, okay, let me think. So we make money and we get taxed for making money. And then we pay taxes for groceries, for Uber, for everything we use basically to exist. We pay taxes plus we tip. Especially in Miami, it's 20%. So, and then end of the year, we pay taxes again. So how many times we pay taxes and how much we tip? It's actually, if you make $1, your dollar is not equal $1. It's close to like 60 cents because you pay taxes and you tip. This is so crazy.
Hello, hi, this is for Americans and Americans only, so Chinese government, please don't listen because it may contain some sensitive information about how fucking fucked our entire government is. Okay, thank you so much. So today I had the great pleasure of talking to the IRS on the phone after waiting for 45 minutes, which once I got a hold of her, she was a great little lady. She was super helpful and super informative, but I do have a problem with her boss who sent me a notice that said that we hadn't paid our taxes and then had some exorbitant fees attached to the fact that we had not submitted our taxes when in fact we did and our bank account says so. So, of of course, we've been filing jointly for years. We're married. Great. You have all of my information. You know where we live. You know where we work. You know how much I get paid. You know how much he gets paid. You know everything, IRS. And yet, you now tell me that there is a primary person attached to our tax return. And that primary person actually has to be the one to make the payment. So since my husband is primary, because of course he is man, he is primary, he is the one who has to submit payment, but little old me submitted payment. So they think that he owes back taxes for the year, where they think I'm just donating. They just think, hey, this little chicken here, she just sent us thousands of dollars. What? For what? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I wouldn't. So you should put 2 and 2 together. You should use that rational brain. You're the government, so you should have a rational brain in there. And you should say, oh my goodness, this little girl, she married this guy. And so they must be paying together. This is where this money is supposed to lie. Don't send me that. Don't send me any back taxes bullshit when I'm already paying so much to live in this great state of California. I don't want to hear it. It makes my blood pressure boil. It makes my husband and I get a little tiffy. Who submitted? Do you have receipt? Why wasn't this submitted properly? I don't want to hear from you, okay? April 15th is the only day I want to think about you. Stop coming to me and stop making shit up. Am I the only one that didn't know this? Please tell me now.
A big no stinky poo-poo to LA now using a Lamborghini as their vehicle for the water and power department. Is this what my tax dollars are being ripped from me for, you silly billies? I could really use that $500 bi-weekly for like rent and for like food.
I've been seeing so many people on my For You page say that if TikTok gets banned, they're not going to pay their taxes. And like, I see people say this about a lot of different things. Like, oh, if this happens, like, fuck taxes, I'm not paying. And I'm not trying to sound like I am Uncle Sam's side piece right now, but do not fuck with the IRS people. I used to work in HR, and I would see the IRS send forms, whatever, to us, and we would get orders, literal lawful orders, to take money out of people's paychecks. They will withhold it from your paychecks, and you will go work your 40 hours, and they will take 80% of your check. The thing is, it's not an option to pay your taxes because they're gonna get their money whether you like it or not. And the thing is, if you're not paying it now, you'll be paying it later without interest and also without notice because they'll just start pulling from your paycheck. So, throw your medical bills in the trash, don't see that, whatever. But when it comes to taxes and the IRS, they are not to be fucked with.
Guys, please pay your taxes. Do not mess with the IRS. They are not playing games with you. They are not playing games. If you owe them, they will eventually get that money back. Trust me, even if it is 3 years later and they see that you owe them money, they will take money out of your checks every single week. Every single month, they will get their money back. They will collect and interest. Just pay what you owe. Don't mess with them. It is not worth it at all. A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And let's continue the video.
My baby daddy talking about, are you going to claim the kids? Can I claim the kids? For what? For what? You don't see them. You don't take care of them. You don't do shit. How dare you? How dare you? And by the way, we're already done here. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
So, I've tried to film this video multiple times. I just keep getting pissed off. But, I have to come on here and rant. I went and filed my taxes today. I get a whopping $20 back from the government after putting in $5,000 or so, which is not a lot. Okay, it's so much less than what some people put in. And then you get told, oh, well, your income went up 16% this year. Yeah, I didn't even see half of it because the government took it all. The government is so backwards. These people can sit on the couch, not go to work every day, swipe a card, pop out these babies, and make so much money at the end of the year. But me, that works full time, bust my tail, can't even get $100. Can't even get enough to pay for a tank of gas. or food on the table for one night. I'm so over it. And don't get it twisted. If you need help, I'm all for it. If you really can't work, I am all for it. But if you just, I'm going to pop out another baby because guess what? I can get way more money on my taxes. If you raise a kid right, you paying way more during the year. And then the person tells you, oh, well, you don't have no babies and you're not married. No, I don't have no babies because I'm not going to get any government assistance. So I'm only paying like $20,000 a year just to raise that one kid. Make it make sense, dude. Like, I'm so over it. The government could give two craps about the working class, like, period. Period. They could care less. And it's just aggravating because the Lord's blessed me tremendously. And I am totally aware of that. And I'm so thankful for that. But, like, when you feel like you bust your back to have what you do have and then get spit in the face, basically, at the end of the year, like, you're getting a big FU from the government, basically. You're going to pay us all this money, and we're going to give you $20. Make it make sense. I'm so over it. But I'm going to take a breather. I just need to rant to somebody because Alex is not off work yet, and I can't talk to anybody, so I'm talking to you. I don't know. But, anyways, love you, bye. Have a great night.
Want to know something that flabbergasts me? Is why the fuck are we paying tax dollars to build freeways because there's too much traffic, so we need these freeways to clear up the traffic, but why are we sitting in traffic on the freeway if that's what we're paying our fucking money for? If you're taking money from my check to fix the issue, why aren't the issues been... I feel like this has been an issue too. Like, traffic is not... This is not nothing new, babes. I'm from California. The 405 feels like a parking lot. Girl, we're all stopped. We gotta make some turbo lanes or something. I don't know. And I don't want to hear the freaking toll roads. No. Why am I paying more? That should be free, first and foremost. Scam.
Y'all, what's up with nobody paying into federal income taxes on your paychecks? All these W-2s I'm getting, and in box 2, it is saying 0, blank. You do understand. I know none of us want to pay taxes. Okay, I get it. Hell, I don't either. But you got to understand that the IRS want their money. The government wants their money. So they're going to get it back one way or the other. Whether you're going to owe them a balance and you're going to have to set yourself up on a payment arrangement if you can't pay the money up front, or either they're going to take it out of those credits and deductions that you're expecting to get back as a refund. Yeah, which means your refund is going to be lower. Yeah, so if you have blank in box 2 on your W-2, or 0, or $2, $3, $4 when you making 50, 60,000, please understand that they're going to take that money out of any credits or deductions you're trying to receive. So that 5,000 that you was expecting to get if you got 2 or 3 kids, yeah, lower that number on down some. That's why you got a small refund this year. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to get with your employer and update your W-4 form. Okay, update that W-4 form. If you need to make any changes, corrections, updates, then you need to do that. You would normally do that if you done got married, you done had a baby, your pay has changed, whether it has increased or decreased, you need to change that W-4 form because that determines how much is coming out your paycheck when you make your taxes or when you pay your federal taxes, right? Okay, so if you don't know how much you need to be paying into taxes, there is an IRS calculator. It's called IRS Withholdings Estimator on the irs.gov website that will allow you to enter in your information, and it'll tell you how much needs to be coming out your paycheck and how much you need to have paid into federal tax withholdings by the end of the year. TurboTax also has that same type of form. Okay? TurboTax Withholdings Calculator. You can go to turbotax.com. I'm not endorsing them, y'all. Go to turbotax.com
Ask for search for their estimator calculator or their withholdings calculator, and it should pop up. Same thing as the IRS website. You're going to enter in your information, your annual salary, your dependents, your filing status, and it's going to tell you how much federal taxes should come out of your check and what you will owe or what you should have paid into taxes by the end of the year. Okay? Listen, don't keep calling me. Don't keep inboxing me. Don't keep coming to me expecting or wondering why your refund ain't $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $4,000 for that matter, when your box 2 says 0 or is blank. Okay? That's the reason why. That's the reason why. Either you're claiming exempt or you don't have enough withholdings coming out due to you not meeting the income threshold. It's one of the two. And most likely, most people are just filing exempt because everybody wants their money back on their paycheck, which I understand. But do remember that the IRS still says you have to pay them. And if you have to pay them, you got to pay them. Okay? They also allow you to set up payment arrangements if you can't pay that balance when it's due. IRS.gov. Type in payments. It'll give you the whole breakdown of how to set up a payment arrangement, but you're going to have to pay that money back. And the more you hold off on paying it, if you get a refund next year, guess what? They're going to take their money back from that. And then depending on how much you owe and how long this goes on, they could put a lien on your properties. They can garnish your wages. Who want to do that? I know I want my money. Go ahead and pay them people. Stop claiming exempt. Ooh. Stop claiming exempt. Update your W-4 form and make sure you pay them folks their money or they gonna come get their money. Bye, y'all.
So let's talk about taxes. One thing I really just don't understand about taxes is how I could work 70 hours a week, and the more I work, the more money that the government feels they're entitled to take away from me. And then I understand the importance of taxes. It's a necessity to reinvest back into the economy for the government to make our lives better and easier. But you realize where the majority of the tax money is going is to unnecessary military funding and to other countries. So where's the help? Where are you reinvesting the taxes that you take away from us, especially the people that are working a lot of hours? Where's that money going to where it benefits them? So we still have to pay taxes on everything we buy. We still have to pay taxes on every single purchase. We still have, that's the same thing. But like, pay taxes on property. Pay more taxes at the end of the year if the government feels they didn't take enough from you. So at the end of the day, if you make $100,000, you really end up with like 65. Why? How? And then the cost of living's going up. So even if you make $100,000 right now, you're really making 65, which you're like, ability to purchase is what it was. Well, $30,000 could have got you 15, 20 years ago. So really, you're making like 30,000 in 20 years ago economy, which was not that much even back then. So really, if you're making $100,000, you're not making a lot of money. How has that happened? How has the people lost so much control? Us as a people lost so much control over our financial abilities to grow. Now it's like people would work to build something. Now we're working to keep our heads above water. We're working to not be homeless. And it's like before you would work 40, 50 hours and you had the ability to grow on your own with a single wage. And then with if you had two wages in the house, it was like you were living extremely comfortable. Now it's like you have two wages and one person's working two jobs or both are working two jobs and people are still struggling. That makes absolutely no sense. I'm just giving y'all something to think about because things are not heading in the right direction, and we as a people are the ones that are going to face the consequences.
I'm getting almost $9,000 back as a tax return, and majority of that will be going to cover my boyfriend's taxes. And a lot of people in my comments are like, why are you going to pay for your boyfriend's taxes? You're not even married. That's ridiculous. Don't do that. Do you see this whole house? This whole house? Yeah, he pays for all of it. This whole fridge full of food. Yeah, he pays for all of that too. And see this Brand new car. Yep, he pays for that too. Also, see how I'm not at a job right now? It's because he pays for everything. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I make $0. I'm a stay-at-home mom / girlfriend, soon to be fiance, or it better be. And basically my taxes are just going to go to even out his taxes because he is a firefighter and works a shit ton of overtime to pay for our life. And I don't make any money. So that is why I'm paying for my boyfriend's taxes, because, and even then people are like, well, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't do that. Like, so if we don't use my taxes to cover his taxes, then throughout the year when we're paying back his taxes, it's going to mean less money for me and our family. That just doesn't make any sense.
And guys, Trump just signed an executive order that there will be no PATH Act this tax season. So if you are filing your children, you no longer have to wait until after February 15th to receive your tax refunds. This just came in hot off the press. No more PATH Act. Trump has just ended that with executive order, with a strike of his pen. All right, guys. So if you haven't filed, start filing. And people are saying you can get your tax refund after filing and get the earned income credit and all that within 48 to 72 hours after filing. Get on it. The whole thing about this is this was just a lie. This is just a test to show how fast misinformation spreads. I wonder how many people are going to share this video or start making their own videos. And will this video actually go viral? Because it's all just a big lie. Trump has not ended the PATH Tax Act. It's still in effect. So if you filing your children, you will not get any money until after February the 15th, or to claim that EIC credit and that child tax credit. All right now.
You know, the older I've gotten, the more I finally fucking started to understand taxes. Like, I didn't fucking understand this shit. I just remember, like, when I was in college, I was getting back buku hellas amounts of money. But that was because I was in college. And now that I'm not in college anymore, I've learned that you gotta strategically think about this shit. And you have to strategically invest in other things to get tax credits. If you are not married and don't have kids and you are single and you make a certain money above, you always gonna owe, unless you strategically invest in certain things like an IRA, 401k, invest in a health savings account. There's other fucking tax credits you can possibly get. But if you don't do that, you gonna owe. I owe the government $57. I'm not getting my $3,000 in refund check back no more unless I pop out a baby, and that's never fucking happening. I refuse. So I finally understand it now. Some people love tax season, and I don't think I'll ever be one of those.
On today, I'm super grateful for the guidance that my grandfather gave me. He passed last July, miss my bestie. But he was the financial guru, and last year I had to pay $6,000 in taxes. I did. Maybe I should have got tax help, but I do contract work. I don't pay no taxes, so then I had to pay my taxes, right? He was like, Hood, I told you to do your estimated tax payments. You need to do that so you don't have to worry about it. I heard you. So last year I made one payment. And guess who's getting all of that money back? Me, because I wasn't going to get no tax refund. It did help that I got laid off from that contract job, so I didn't make as much money, but I owe no money, and I'm getting that back. Thank you, Granddaddy. Thank you.
Guess what? It's officially tax season, and I'm here to give you my hot takes as a tax preparer. First thing is a pet peeve of mine. There is a difference between your tax return and your tax refund. Your tax return is like the actual documents that you submit to the IRS, whereas a tax refund is the money that you're getting back if you are owed any money from the government. So when somebody says, oh, I'm waiting on my tax return, or my tax return was $3,000 this year, it makes me think, oh, they're still waiting to actually file their return, or they paid a preparer $3,000 to file their return. Likely you mean your tax refund was $3,000 because that's the amount you're getting back, or you're waiting on that tax refund to come in from the government. Secondly, just because you're getting a refund is not as big as a flex as most people make it out to be. If you are getting a substantial refund, what that means is the government was holding on to your money for the full year, and you are likely withholding too much from your paychecks. If you didn't withhold that amount, you could use that throughout the year on things that you need, putting it into a savings account or investing it in the market. But by paying into the government every single paycheck for taxes that you aren't going to owe, you are giving them an interest-free loan. And I know some people like to do it that way because then they don't have to think about it and then they get a nice little bonus at the end of the year. But by just using personal finance tactics, and instead of withholding more that goes to the federal government, you withhold it and goes into a high-yield savings account, then you're earning interest on that amount, and it's available at any point that you need it. You're not waiting on the government to hand it back to you. And you can even account for tax credits in your W-4s so that your withholdings will know that you're expecting to get that tax credit at the end of the year, and it'll make sure that you're not withholding more than you need to. W-4s can be confusing, and I've made a previous video about that. So I definitely suggest talking to an accountant if you want to get as close as possible to owing zero at the end of the year and receiving zero in your refund, so that you are holding as much of your own money as possible throughout the year. Those are just a couple hot takes I have. I'm sure I have plenty more, but happy tax season.
Tell me something you once loved but now you hate. I'll go first. Income tax season. Cannot stand it. Don't hear about it. I'm living in a land of denial. I don't want a W-2. Don't give it to me. Do not accept. I don't want my 1099. I don't want any of it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want to live in denial. The math ain't mathing. Okay, the math ain't mathing. Tell me how I pay all this money. I'm taxed on all this stuff. I done paid the tax. And then you're going to tax. And then I'm going to have to pay you taxes again? How? How is it that just normal middle-class citizens, middle class on a good day, you know, we ain't out here living extravagantly. We in the trenches too, barely surviving. And then we got to pay taxes. And it's too much. And don't come on here talking to politics. Don't do it. Do not do it. Because everybody everybody, always, all the taxes, all the time. Everybody. The right wing and the left wing, baby, belong to the same bird. That's all I'll say about that. So we're not going to get into that. But the math is not mathing. I hate income tax season. No. I'm opting out. Not participating. I am participating because I don't want to get into troubles. But I don't want to.
Another one of my favorite TikTok hacks that I've ever learned. Free Tax USA. I've been using TurboTax for the last 3 years, and they steal all my money because they charge you all these insane fees to use their service. I feel like by the end of my tax return, I'm literally getting no money because TurboTax takes $80, $100, $200 out of fees, especially if you're filing as someone who's self-employed. I just used Free Tax USA. They did not take a single fee out. It was the easiest process ever, and my tax return got accepted within an hour. You're welcome.
Last year, I spent over $150 US just on filing my taxes. $150, and I only got $180 back. So I got back about $20. $20 in refund for the year. 20 bucks. So I will use Free Tax USA this year. Let's see how well it works, honestly. But yeah, $150 spent just to file. I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.